We are picking up in lesson 4.5 and finishing lesson 4.5 today. So we talked yesterday about solving these quadratic equations with factory. What is the first question we were asking ourselves on every single question? Does it equal 0? So as we start our next example here, that's exactly my question. Does it equal 0? So, does it equal 0? No. How do we make it equal 0?
You add 2x to 30x. You minus 2 to 14.
Okay, yep. And so it's moving the 2 and the minus 2x. I'm always going to, me personally, I'm going to try and keep that x squared term positive. So I'm going to keep that where it is. So to move a positive 2, you need to subtract 2. If we subtract 2 on the right, we're subtracting 2 on the left, which means I'm subtracting it from 14. To move the minus 2x, we need to add 2x. If we add 2x on the right, add 2x on the left, which means I'm adding it to the 30x. So we're keeping our like terms together there. What does my equation read to be? Okay. 5x squared plus 32x plus 12 equals 0. Okay. After we set it equal to 0, our official next question has been, is there a GCF? I did not move you guys back, did I? Is that what you need? Sorry. Thank you. Just got to remind me. Okay. Is there a GCF? No. It'd be nice if there was a GCF. I'd love to see a GCF of 5 right now so that I can get 1x squared here. It'd make life easier, but no GCF of 5. Okay. Can I go ahead and just put this into parentheses? And your answer should be no. If it was just a 1x squared, then yes, we could go ahead and put it into parentheses and just do product and sum. But when there's an a value, in other words, when there's a number in front of x squared, we have to use product of what? Product of AC. Does that sound familiar? I just taught that, Thursday, Friday last week? So product of AC, meaning product of A is 5 and C is 12. So product of AC, 5 times 12 is 60. So we're looking for two numbers to give me a product of 60 and a sum of what? That middle B term of 32. What multiplies to be 60 and adds to be 32? You can start going through your list. 1 and 60. Not going to work. 2 times 30. What do you know about 2 times 30? 2 plus 30 is 32. So let's try 2 and 30. Since they multiply to be positive and add to be positive, they're both going to be positive. Okay, what do I do with that 2 and 30? Remember, we'd love to just put them in our parentheses. But again, that doesn't work when there is an a value, so when there's a number in front of x squared. So we're going to use these two to split that middle term. 32x either splits into 2x plus 30x or 30x plus 2x, whichever makes you happier. Which is going to make you guys happier. That's what I was going to guess. Okay, so 30x plus 2x is what a lot of you probably want. If you prefer it the other way, then go for it. Okay, and this is a positive 30x. We also need to bring down your first term of 5x squared. Bring down your last term of plus 12. And don't forget, this is still equal to 0. Okay, I've got 4 terms. Now what? 4 terms, we're going to split it in half right after the second term. Look at the first 2 terms only. And now you're asking yourself, GCF of the first 2. They both have a 5 in common, and they both have an x in common. So we're going to factor out a 5x out front. 5x squared divided by 5x leaves me with x plus 30x divided by 5x is 6. So x plus 6. Repeat the process. This time, GCF of the second half. What's 2x plus 12 have in common? A 2. So we're going to factor out a positive 2. So I'm going to write plus 2 in parentheses. 2x divided by 2 is x. Plus 12 divided by 2 is 6. And of course, it still equals 0. Gotta scooch my paper over here because I'm out of room. How do I write this in factored form now? Right. Okay, so yeah, if you recall, it's 2 parentheses now. We know we've been successful because my x plus 6's match, right? You always want a set of matching parentheses. So one of my parentheses is x plus 6. My other parenthesis, what were your GCFs? So when you take those x plus 6's out, what are the leftovers? Then that is a 5x plus 2. Okay, just like all of our other problems yesterday, we have 2 parentheses multiplying to equal 0. What do? Okay, yeah, set each part equal to 0, each factor I should say. So we're going to say x plus 6 equals 0, or 5x plus 2 equals 0. If x plus 6 equals 0, I'm going to have to subtract 6, and x is going to be negative 6. If 5x plus 2 equals 0, we're going to have to subtract 2 to begin with. So 5x equals negative 2. Since it's 5x, we are dividing by 5, and x is negative 2/5. So we have 2 solutions. X is negative 6, x is negative 2/5. Does that product of AC factoring sound a little familiar? It's not been that long since I taught it. So, negative 2/5, it does make a nice neat decimal, but what I've been told is Math Excel was not being very nice about decimals last night. They weren't really allowing decimals, so you're going to have to probably stay in fraction form. Okay? Let's practice to make sure we've got it. Let me know if you have questions along the way, please. So second example. 4x squared minus 14x plus 7 equals 4 minus x. Question 1. Does it equal?
0.
0. Does it equal 0? No. How do you want to make it equal 0? Okay, so to move a minus x, we're going to add x. That means I'm also adding x to the minus 14x. To move a 4, I'm going to subtract 4. And that means I'm subtracting 4 from 7. Okay, so clean it up. 4x squared minus 13x plus 3 equals 0. Is there GCF? No GCF. What's the factoring I'm trying to do then? Product of AC. Because there's a number in front of x squared, product of AC. So product of 4 times 3, which is 12. And what do I need those numbers to add up to be? Negative 13. One and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. What works? 1 and 12. The overlooked pair most often. Oh, I forgot I could actually zoom back in here. Make this a little easier for you guys to see somewhat. So we're going to use 1 and 12. Since it multiplies to be positive but adds to be negative, the 1 and 12 both need to be negative. What do I do with that negative 1 and 12? Split that middle term. Let's see. Which way do you guys want to split this? Which way did you say? We can do negative 1 minus 12 or negative 12 minus 1? Negative 12 minus 1? Neither of them are great here in this particular case, so if we do negative 12x minus 1x, I'm okay with that. After you split that middle term, you bring down your first term, bring down your last term, and it still equals 0. So 4x squared minus 12x minus 1x plus 3 equals 0. 4 terms. We're going to split it in half. GCF of the first two. What do 4x squared and minus 12x both divide by? They can both divide by a 4x. 4x squared divided by 4x is x. Minus 12x divided by 4x, minus 3. GCF of the second two. It's minus 1x plus 3. What should we go with here? I mean, 1 and 3, they don't really have anything in common other than 1. They don't both have x's, so all else we use 1, right? What would make this one a little bit better, though? We have to use negative 1. And here's my rule. Anytime the first term is negative that you're factoring from, use negative. So I'm going to factor out a negative 1. Negative 1x divided by negative 1 is x. 3 divided by negative 1, minus 3. And equals 0. Success, right? My parentheses match. So that's good news. So what does this look like in factored form then? Okay. X minus 3 are my matching parentheses. GCFs of 4x minus 1. And finally, set both parentheses equal to 0. X minus 3 equals 0, or 4x minus 1 equals 0. If it's x minus 3, I'm going to add 3. And so x is 3. If it's 4x minus 1, add 1. So 4x equals 1, and then divide by 4, and x is 1/4. So I have solutions of 3 and 1/4. X equals 3 and x equals 1/4. Okay, is your confidence growing on these? Here's what I'm going to say. I have one more example to do, and I am going to do this one more example. If you are feeling very confident and you have your math homework still to work on, you can transfer over to homework if you don't feel like you need to do the last example with me. If you want a little more practice, if your homework's already done, hang out with me on this last example. I'm kind of leaving it up to you, but if you feel like you're good, then you can work on homework if you want. But I'm still going to do this last one. Yes, stay logged on for a little bit till I finish. I will let you guys log off early, but let me finish this and talk about one other thing, okay? Okay, 2x squared plus 7x equals 15. My first question is still, does it equal 0? And it does not equal 0, so I'm going to subtract that 15 over. Once I subtract 15 over, 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 equals 0. Is there a GCF? No. So there is an A value. There is a number in front of x squared, so we're going to talk product of AC. So I'm going to do product of 2 times negative 15. So product of negative 30 and a sum of 7. If you're not sure, go through your list. 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't work, but 5 and 6. And you find a pair at 3 and 10. If it multiplies to be negative, remember you need one of each. If it adds to be positive, bigger number positive, so smaller number negative. So I'm going to use negative 3 and 10. I'm going to take that negative 3 and 10 and split that middle term. Let's see. Negative 3x plus 10x, or 10x minus 3x. 10x minus 3x, and I could go either way. So if we say 10x minus 3x, 2x squared still carries down. Plus 10x minus 3x minus 15 carries down. And it's still equal to 0. 4 terms. So I'm going to split it in half. GCF of the first half. So GCF of 2x squared plus 10x. They're both even, so 2, and they both have an x. 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. Plus 10x divided by 2x, 5. And negative 3x minus 15. They both have a 3, and they're both negative. So negative 3. Negative 3x divided by negative 3 is x. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 plus 5. Still equals 0. So now, two parentheses, my x plus 5s are matching. My 2x minus 3s are my extras. So, set each part equal to 0. X plus 5 equals 0. 2x minus 3 equals 0. And finish it from there. If it's x plus 5, I subtract 5. X equals negative 5. If it's 2x minus 3, I'm going to add 3. 2x equals 3. And so then I'm going to divide by 2, and x is 3/2. So we have solutions of negative 5 and 3/2. Okay, your job for homework is to finish lesson 4.5. With any luck, you may have gotten started on it last night, so you don't have the whole thing to do, and you can get finished. And you guys have some work time right now that I expect you to use.